Okay, you've made it. You've made it to the place where we're going to create a web story. Okay, and I'm going to show you some of the things I see all the time that go wrong. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through step by step. I'm actually creating this for a client. So you're just going to see me work. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so, okay, do you remember my little Google Doc? I told y'all this is like my Bible when it comes to all of this. Okay. It's just my way to organize. You do you. Okay. You totally do you. So this is my keyword. Okay. Um the search volume was good. I don't remember what it was right this second. I didn't start putting numbers till later on. But this is the post that goes with it. Okay. So I've already opened that up in a new tab. So it's already done. So I'm going to take the keyword and just, well, I don't need to copy that. I am going to copy the blog post. Okay. So I've got the blog post in one. Okay. And then I've already opened up my stories. So you just go to stories, add new. Okay. The first thing I always do is I'm going to put in my keyword. Okay. And this is where I see people go wrong all the time. Okay. This will save in a minute. Now I'm going to add stuff to it after the fact. Okay. But I want for this moment to do that here. Okay. Because where it'll end up going is down here. Okay. And you see how it misspelled it? So we're going to talk about when to look at those. Okay. So that permalink is your H1. Okay. It should not say the 10 best kick scooters or 10 kick scooter you must buy. Like it should just be that keyword that you found when you did your research. Okay. Nothing else. Nothing else. Okay. So just make sure that that is that. Okay. The next thing I typically do is I'm going to go over here to style and I'm going to click on this. I usually change this to this one here. And then I'm going to put in my story. I'm going to put in my blog post. And I'm going to tell you some things I've found that has worked really well lately. Okay. I'm going to remove that photo. And then I do all caps. Okay. So let's talk about best practice. If you're doing a food blog, put something like full recipe or get full recipe. Just make sure the whole phrase is on there. If I'm doing a roundup and it's got multiple things and I can't put them all on there, then I'll put see all. Um, Always in all caps and always just a really great call to action. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest and tell you I haven't really read this blog post. So we're gonna do this together, okay? So I know that this is all about kick scooters. Okay, so I know it's how to ride a kick scooter, but I'm gonna show you some tricks here. So I go to, so title one is, think of it as your H1. Okay, so I'm gonna do kick scooter. I have found that Google reads this and that they're able to kind of put some more power behind it. So I'm just gonna center this. So that's my H1. Now, you know the blog post said how to write, right? So I'm gonna do as a title two. I also find people click on this better. You just grab it, move it out a little bit. I typically will do this in a different font just because it kind of breaks it up. And then you just kind of look at it, make sure it is where you want it to be. Okay, now I've already looked at this blog post just slightly. They don't really have any photos, so I'm going to use the third party media. Okay, and when you're doing this first, so this is your cover. Okay, so this is what they're going to see first. I want something that's going to pop. Okay, try not to be boring here. You want them to know exactly what it is. Okay, so we're going to do that. And then I'm just going to duplicate the page. Okay, so page 2 is my little introduction. And I'm going to give you all a trick here. Okay, when you go to your blog post, you wrote an introduction. Okay, so you can take what you wrote in your blog post, okay, and highlight it and go ahead and paste it. You literally just copy paste, however you're doing it, okay? Now, I like for this to be at 20. I don't know that it makes a hill of beans of difference, but I find that it makes it a little easier to read. And you can just highlight it and put it on that. And then I like to put it just kind of centered. I think it looks better. So I've got more of these to look at. So what if we did just another easy one? Here's another good trick, okay? Do you see this learn more? Do you see that call to action? You want to stay right above that, okay? You don't want that to go below that, okay? Because it'll cover it up and sometimes they can't see it. Okay, so now we're going to create this story. Okay, how do you ride a kick scooter? I don't know. But I'm going to go through the blog post. Okay, so you can just do like the basics. Like here's step 1, learn to push off. Okay, so I'm gonna paste that. And then that's not quite enough words. So I'm gonna add a little bit to it. I'm gonna free. Kind of make it free. So we know like you have to adjust your handlebars. You've got to do the right foot. Mm. Okay. So again, we're telling a little bit of a story, right? Appetizer. We're not wanting to be like, okay, here's step 1, here's step 2, here's step 3, and you got to do all these things. I want them to go read the blog post. You guys, you'll see. Do you see the blue line that's going down? That means it's centered. Okay, so, and you can do like bold that. Okay, you're getting them to move, and a lot of times movement means different photos, it means bolding some things. Okay. Okay, so let's do step 2. here's the great thing. I duplicated, right? So I can go in here and then I've already got my thing set up there. So I'm gonna align that center. I'm gonna do that. Okay, so they can still see, right? Click below to see. Now I do have Grammarly and it does majority of the time. Let me get my errors. Okay, so can you see though, like I'm telling the story. I'm not giving them all of it, right? I'm also picking photos that really show that scooter. Okay, because I want the right person looking at it. Okay. And that doesn't look quite even. Okay, let's do one more. Is this easier for you guys? Are you starting to see how you can use what you've already written? Okay, you don't have to rewrite. You get to use what you've already written and make it easy. So I'm always calling them to go below. Okay. Like as much as you can do that. Now, if you're doing recipes or something like that and that just doesn't make any sense, then don't worry about it. Okay. You guys, you can post them in the Facebook group and be like, Tony, can you take a look at this? I'm actually going to offer you something in a minute. So hang on. Okay, so I'm at page 5. How many steps were there? So we've got 5. So there's 5 steps total. I'm going to delete that. And then I'm going to get them to head on over to the blog post. Okay, super simple. And I want to take up as much space because these are very visual. Okay, so take up the space. Don't be afraid to pull your photo out and take up more space if you can. Okay, so done, right? I only want to have about 6 slides. Okay, great call to action. So let's go over to the checklist. Okay. So this is your poster image. This is what they're going to see. You do need to make sure you have a publisher logo. We had some, they need to be 96 by 96. We had some that were not on there, and we had some problems with that. Let's see. Let's see what this one looks like. So maybe you don't have one, but I'm not loving this. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this for a second and I'm going to go find a photo that I like. And then I'm going to show you guys how I upload it and how we're going to put it on there. Okay. So let me pause you for a second. You won't even know I paused you. Okay. So let me grab one of those right quick. I'm back. Okay, good. So I went ahead and I actually just used one of these and screenshot it. So you can totally do that. I did name it though. Okay, so I named it what my keyword is. Okay, so then you just upload just like you would on anything. Okay, I typically do the ALT text. And then I'm gonna select that. Okay, and then you just move it over. I want that full scooter. This is what they see when they're on there. Okay. Now on this description, I'm going to use that keyword again. You don't have to use all 200. You really don't. Before you get out of here, I want you to make sure your permalink is that keyword. Okay, your H1 should only be that. Make sure it's spelled right, because you know I misspelled. And make sure you have your publisher logo. Okay, now if you're going to put this in draft, then you go right here and you say save draft. Okay, so I'm just going to do that right quick. And it'll put it back up here as published, but let me show you where it shows up. So if you go to stories and go to all stories, then you'll see it under draft. Okay, and then when I'm ready for my day to publish that, I just come over here to edit. And it's going to take it a second to pull back up. Okay, so my title looks good. This would be where you could preview it. Okay, and then I'm going to hit publish. Now, remember, this just has my keyword, and I double check over here to make sure my permalink just has that keyword. Okay, but now I can go in here and add. And when you click off of that, okay, then that's on there. But my permalink still just has that H1. This is where people go wrong. They put it up here first, and then that ends up in your permalink, and that typical search volume is 0. 0. Okay, so you just want to hit publish. And then I check here too. Okay, so I've got kick scooter, which is exactly my keyword. And then I'm going to go over to my search console and I'm going to put it in there. I'm going to hit return. And it's going to tell me it's not indexed. But that's what it does. And then you're just going to click request indexing. Again, I usually look at it there just because I've done them wrong. Don't do as I do as I say. And then it's going to take it through the process where it's going to say that it's been indexed. Okay. Okay. So it's that easy. Okay. Seriously, that easy. A couple of things I'm just going to say just to kind of wrap this up. Make sure that you have a different property in your Google Analytics that's just for web stories. Okay, so you want to make sure that you have one property just for organic and one property for web stories, okay? Because you're going to want to see the difference. Google Search Console at this moment, I don't know what they're doing, but the data is way off, way off. Okay, so when you're looking at how is my stories performing, I would rather you go into your Google Analytics and look at it that way. Okay, you should have two properties there and be able to see that. Okay, because I made the mistake of just looking at my search console and I was like frustrated. And when I went into Google Analytics, then I saw that they were actually doing really well. So I don't know what they're doing with Search Console. I don't know. I don't know if that'll change. I'll just keep watching it. But that's definitely something to just kind of keep an eye on. Okay. If you need more help, okay, there's a couple of ways to do. If you just want to take all of this off your plate, then that is easy to do. Like you just meet with me and I look at your site and you can totally do that. I actually do double the amount of web stories than any of my competitors, just because I know that you need to be doing 2 a day. So, and I'm really good at them. So I decided to offer it at the price I offered it at. So, if that's something you want to do, you get 2 web stories Monday through Thursday for the entire month for $450. So you can price that around. You won't find anybody good at that price, and you can see my process now. Another thing that I am going to start offering for fourth quarter and probably moving forward is it's a paid group. And so if you are needing, like, you just want the confidence, you want somebody to review your stories, you want a little bit of help with keyword research, then I'm going to offer that. It's also going to have some bonuses. I'm really good at email marketing, really good at Facebook ads, really good at YouTube shorts and YouTube videos. So I'll have the workbooks that go with all of that too. And so it'll be like a coaching program. You'll have access to me Monday through Friday. The cost is only $37 a month. So if that's something you're interested in, I'll put a little bit of information below. I'm definitely going to do it fourth quarter. And then if there's still that you're getting benefits out of it, you can do that. If you're like, this isn't a good fit, then that's totally fine. And you can stop at any time. But I feel like there's a need. We'll talk a lot about SEO. So like you may have a blog post idea and you're like, is this a good keyword? To have somebody be able to come along and say, okay, let's take a look at that. Or here's my web post. Sometimes it's just, we want somebody to look at it right before we hit publish. Or sometimes we need to look at how we're driving people into email, or should I be doing YouTube? You'll actually get a strategy from me to just kind of follow for the month. So every single person will get, here's a few things that I think you need to be working on to be able to grow your blog. So it's not just about writing posts and leaving them there. It's about putting pieces together, whether that's Pinterest or YouTube or email, all those things. And so you'll get a written strategy and then be able to follow it, but then also have access to me to review things or bounce questions off of, whatever that is. Okay. So if you're interested in that, I'll put some information below. Really worth the $37, I promise. And an easy way to have really good access to me. So anyway, I hope all of this was helpful. Again, if you have questions, go to the Facebook group. Send me an email, send me a message. Okay. I'm happy to take a look. Anybody that did the bonus with the workbook and the in this, like, I will send you some keywords to use on your website to kind of jumpstart you for fourth quarter. And then there's something else, and I just lost my train of thought. Anyway, there's one more training coming on how I do keyword research for posts and kind of my process with that. Okay, and how I use RankIQ with it. So anyway, if you have questions on that, watch that next, and then you'll be in good shape. Okay, but anyway, I hope you'll join me in the coaching mentorship. I don't know that it's called coaching, mentorship, and let's get you going. Okay.